Okay, so this video is going to be about 15 millimeter rods for mounting accessories onto your camera. It's a tried and true method that's been going on since, I don't know, the 80s at least. And there's been different solutions that are also not rails, but you keep coming back to it just because it's useful, because it's kind of a universal mount. But there's definitely some downsides. One is it makes the camera huge, which could be cool, but I'm a big believer in small camera whenever possible. So let me just walk through sort of how I work with rails and what the deal is. So this is your 15 millimeter rail. That's the diameter. This one's carbon fiber, which I'm not a huge fan of the texture, and it does kind of feel like they're going to flex. So I prefer aluminum, but yeah, these ones are carbon fiber. We got big ones. We got some aluminum smaller ones and some even smaller ones. A couple with some cheese holes in them in case you want to mount stuff, and then some baby ones. And yeah, the idea is, follow focus, matte box, batteries, anything that requires accessories mounted to a camera, especially if it's not, factory direct from the camera manufacturer. You're probably going to end up using rails just because they kind of fit for everything. So first thing, you got the rail block. This is good for mounting rails onto stuff or mounting stuff to rails. It's just a cheese block that holds clamps for rails. So very useful. As far as like mounting to a camera, I do this a lot. This is just a cheese block, and then I put rails in the front. So camera lives here, kind of like that. And then you can put follow focus or lens support, whatever you need on the front. And actually, I have a camera where this just lives on the end of the camera. Yeah. Obviously, it's not going to help the lens that's on there because it's actually at the lens. But, if I need to pop on rails for lens support or something, because I really don't trust even this big camera. These mirrorless mounts, I just don't trust them. The sturdier mounts like PL, I'm less worried about. But I like to support, heavy lenses. This one is not. And rails is kind of the only way to do it. Moving down the line, this is just a semi-permanent rail block. It screws into the bottom of the camera, and it has a pass-through, so you can either mount stuff on the front of the camera or on the back of the camera, follow focus, matte box, whatever, and then battery. And this one actually lives underneath my Blackmagic Pocket 4K because that thing needs a V-mount battery no matter what, and sometimes it needs stuff on the front. So honestly, this situation is kind of how I do it 99% of the time. It's just, obviously this block goes on the bottom because that's the Manfrotto plate. But yeah, this is just how it lives because I know I'm going to need my big V-mount battery. There we go. My big V-mount battery right here. It'll live right there. No problem. And then I can obviously balance the camera better that way. So that's another good use for these rail blocks. Is this just has a little baby V-mount receiver on it. I have a couple different V-mount receivers, but this one is just easy and small and low profile. Just lives right there, and then that's where the battery lives. Moving on, this is actually a Manfrotto plate with a built-in pass-through for rails. It's very heavy duty. It's very heavy. It's a big old chunk of aluminum. I haven't actually used it. I got it in a shoulder mount kit, and I'm sure I'll find a day where I use it, but it's too much. And also, this plate doesn't fit a lot of my tripods, my Manfrotto tripods. It's just a weird cut, so I haven't used it. One thing that I do use, though, is this guy, and it's sold as a kit. So it's a Manfrotto style receiver on the top, and then it's adjustable height rail block, and then a cheese plate, and then obviously you put your Manfrotto plate on the bottom. And this is super good for small cameras because it gives you the pass-through, which is super useful, and it gives you height adjustment, which is incredibly useful. The only thing that I'm worried about is I wouldn't put a really heavy camera on this thing because all that weight is just going through those two bolts, and a big camera I feel like would snap those bolts. Same for the bottom, it's just two bolts, and so if you have a lot of heavy rigging on your rails, I could see that snapping. So it's not going to be great for a big camera, but for most cameras, especially mirrorless cameras, I think this is more useful than not, especially with the height adjustment built in. Super good. And then the other crazy one, and I just picked it up, and I'm not sold on it yet. We'll see what happens. This is a Tilta branded base plate. It doesn't have the height adjustment like this other one does, but it's really beefy. It has pass through, which is nice. And the other thing is, it's supposed to take Manfrotto or Arca Swiss, and it'll definitely take Manfrotto, so no problem there. But as far as Arca Swiss goes, I don't have a lot of Arca Swiss stuff just because it's not stuff I bought into, but I have a couple plates and the plates don't fit. So I think you need some kind of specific Arca Swiss plate, or probably the Tilta cage to go for it. But yeah, it's basically just a fancier version of this where it's got a little bit more meat on it. I would trust more weight on it, but it doesn't have height adjustment. And then there's these little accessory things. These are for mounting rails or mounting things to rails, just like the rail block. I'll show you those at the end because they're actually kind of useful. And then these guys are lens supports. And so a lot of times I'll be in a situation where I'll have a really long lens on the end of my camera. And whether or not that lens is actually sagging on the mount, and a lot of times it is, I just feel better having this on the nose of the camera, you know, lifting up that long lens. This one's adjustable, this one's less adjustable, this one's even less adjustable, but it has rollers on it, so if the lens, you know, the barrel moves, that's useful. I feel like the thing everybody thinks about when they think about 15mm rods is follow focus. Yes, that's kind of the only way to mount a follow focus. There's a couple different ways to use rods to mount a follow focus, which I'll talk about in a second. But yeah, as far as actually, you know, getting the follow focus on there, this one's pretty heavy duty. It's got side to side adjustment, so it's really nice that this thing has height adjustment, so you can get your camera right on there and get the right height. And then as far as this thing goes, like I said, this camera tends to have a rail block on it at all times because it needs a V-mount battery just to even function. So I'll have the V-mount battery chilling on the back like that. I'll have maybe a follow focus, maybe a lens support if it's a really long lens, and that's kind of how I do it. The only difference is I don't even worry about the height adjustment because this thing just permanently stays on that particular camera, but that's not every camera. I will sometimes use a matte box. This is a clamp-on matte box, but I do have the rail adapter for it because I kind of prefer rails. I know people like to clamp onto the end of their lens, which I do have the adapters for, but even if I'm going to do that, I'm going to use this lens support because I just don't like all that extra weight that far out, and I just don't trust this mount to not, you know, at least bend, if not break at some point, especially if it gets, you know, bumped or dropped or something. So sometimes I'll use this and sometimes I'll clamp it on, but either way, I'll find a way to support the lens onto the rails just to make it a little bit more sturdy. The other thing you can add on are these handles. These handles have the 15mm and the, you know, the really high-end 19mm that obviously we're not dealing with, but, you know, it's nice. It's more comfortable than you'd think. I'm kind of shocked. And then also, obviously it's not going to work in this rig, but you can pop on this shoulder pad and you end up with sort of a poor man's shoulder rig. It's not perfect and it's got weird weight distribution, but it's not terrible. And honestly, this terrible little pad is kind of great. Now, if you do want to use this little follow focus, obviously you can use the rails on the bottom, and it's a single rail system. But I've actually found, and this is really common with electronic follow focuses, is you get one of these and you clamp it to or you bolt it to the top of your camera, get a little rail to go with it, and then all of a sudden you can do sort of an overhead follow focus. It's not nearly as sturdy as undermounted, so it's kind of a niche situation, but I've done it before. I'll do it again, especially electronically, just to, you know, keep the electronics out of the way of something like a matte box. If you really want to get into the weeds, this thing is a counterweight, and it's actually for a much heavier duty shoulder rig. And so, for instance, you can take this, you can mount a rail block to the back of this, pop this counterweight on if the camera's really nose heavy, and all of a sudden you have a more balanced camera. It really depends, but it is nice to have that amount of adjustment that a rail gives you. You just got to be really careful because, especially when it's two pieces, I don't know how heavy this is, but it is quite heavy. And like I said, a lot of times I try not to use rails whenever possible. A lot of times my Blackmagic, if I don't want to use rails, I will actually mount the camera on the front of this and then put the V-mount battery on the back. This is just a standard Manfrotto like extra long plate. And so what you can do is pop the plate on, pop the camera on as well, and then since it's got a V-mount battery receiver, there you go. And then you can balance it just by sliding the plate back and forth. So it's a different solution, and it's one that I use when I don't want to use rails. So sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. It's pretty out there as far as like getting into the weeds. So conclusion time. Most of the time adding rails makes the camera way bigger, and I guess for showing off reasons that's kind of worth it. But I find the camera to be too big to put into a bag, and kind of cumbersome to take all the accessories off to get it to fit inside stuff, and then all of a sudden you've like doubled the size of your camera, or if it's a mirrorless camera, quadrupled it. And so time and place, if you need handles, yes, 15mm rods can be one way to do it. You can also use rosettes, which I tend to use rosettes. As far as the most of the time when I'm using rails, it's either because I need to put a V-mount block on the back and it doesn't have a native V-mount on the back of the camera, or I need to support a heavy lens on the front. Sometimes it's follow focus, sometimes it's handles, but most of the time I'm just worried about not breaking the lens or the lens mount on the camera. And obviously these giant like 18-inch rods are not necessary. For a camera like this, even if you don't want to top mount it, mounting it on the bottom with either one or two rods can be super useful. Keeps the camera semi-small, but yeah, once you're in sort of the ecosystem of rails, it's a black hole. It'll get you. And I've definitely built out rigs where I regretted how huge they were, but I've also been in situations where I was really grateful that I was able to put on like a lens support and to protect the lens, because that's kind of what I'm most concerned with a lot of times. Anyway, what do you guys think? How do you guys use rails? Do you guys use rails at all? Are you anti-rail? Are you one of these people who goes out of their way to not use rails? Because I was that person for a long time. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you next time.